Hello and welcome to another Mystic Frequency Tarot reading. I'm Lisa and I'll be your tarot reader for today. And it is currently January 5th, 2026. But no matter where this reading finds you, there's a message in here that is waiting for you to open it up and read and take what your guides are trying to reveal for you in this moment. And if today is your birthday, happy birthday. And if you were born on January 5th, happy birthday. And thank you for making it around the year with us. We're happy to have you here. But don't forget to celebrate. More importantly, you are worth celebrating. So we're going to look at a self-affirmation for the day, the collective that your guide wants you to be telling yourself. And then we're going to look at some self-care, because self-care is always important, and it's one way to really take care of your body and your needs and acknowledge these needs. And some of them are just real simple things. Some of them are just really good habits just to even have. And then we'll look at your 3 animal guides that are currently with you that are revealing an information for you. And then we'll look at some tarot. And today what I want to do is whenever I'm doing the tarot, whatever card falls out, that'll be the first card. And then I'm going to look within the middle of the deck, pick a card out of it to see what core matter is at the heart of things currently. And then I'll look at the back of the deck, and that'll be like the subconscious things that are in the back of our collective's mind. But I'm excited. I am enjoying doing these videos. I have a lot of energy today. I did my 2 yoga sessions, and then I went on a walk to the park nearby my house, and I just feel really good. It's really pretty outside for January, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel real good. All right, let's see what affirmation this collective needs. Ooh. And we have, I am brave. Ooh, yes. Maybe you felt uncertain about having the courage to do something. Maybe you thought something was a lot harder than you thought it was. And as soon as you actually immersed yourself in it, you actually threw yourself at it and just forgot fear altogether. You had the courage to overcome these fears. So you were very brave. And my son's middle name is Trace, and that means brave. So it's almost like, even though he's in the other room and he's playing video games right now, and that is one of the reasons why I named him that, is because I wanted him to trace the courage that he had in order to overcome any kind of obstacle that he may find himself in. But I love this. I am brave. You are brave. There is nothing that you cannot overcome as long as you put your mind to it. So long as you have that belief, you have the courage to do so. And even if you can't make it work, the fact that you tried, that's what's important. And by trying, you're going to be able to say, okay, well, maybe if I had did this a different way, then it would have worked. And you're just trying it. You're just trying to experiment with the things that are around you. And that's one of the great things about January currently, is you are trying something new. You are trying to go about something in a different way, and you're being very brave about it. And I love that you got that. And, you know, whenever I do decide to leave my house and go on these walks, I always have these, these potential what ifs. But if I allow myself to overcome them, it's usually never not as bad, especially if you have anxiety or if you're just worried, if you're just a worrisome mind thinker. At least this way, you are challenging your thoughts. You are challenging these things, and you're saying, even if this does happen, I'm still going to challenge it because I'm going to be able to handle any situation I come across. Your self-care affirmation for the day, or I say for the day, but some of these are long-term things that you could be doing that will leave an impact on where you go on your journey. So this person is very brave. What self-care affirmation could they use that would benefit them? Ooh, I feel like that one wants to come out. Close your eyes and remember your greatness. And I think this one did come out just very recently. And it may have been in one of these collective readings, or it may have been in one of my pick-up piles. But you're brave, and you need to remember how great you truly are, even if you don't feel that way. Close your eyes and remember all the times where you rose above. Remember all the times where you did have that number one spot, where you actually persevered and you actually kept at it. And you were looking at what it was you were doing, not what other people were doing, but you were looking at what you could be doing to make an impact on your growth. And in this right here, it's like when you wake up in the morning, do you already have doubts about what it is that you need to be doing? How can you change that when you first wake up? Remember how great you are. Remember how great you are. Even if you have a lot of things that you have set out for the day, and maybe you only accomplished one of those things, or maybe just it felt like nothing was working and you didn't get to accomplish what it is that you wanted to do. You're still great. When you close your eyes at night before you go to bed, remember something that you have done in your life. And it doesn't need to be today's what you have done. It can be just anything that you have ever done in your life that you feel very proud for. It could be your children. You're just really proud of your children, and it is through your leadership, through your ability to help them grow and just be human beings themselves, that kind of thing. Or it could be finishing school. Maybe you have already finished school and that's been way past. You've already done that, but that's still an accomplishment. It was probably very difficult for you to finish that. Remember your greatness. Remember when you've had to overcome something. And it can be even as I didn't allow myself to get road rage, just something really silly like that. It can just be anything. I drank water. Just anything that makes you feel good about the things that you have done and accomplished. Be very brave with yourself. Allow yourself to be brave and challenge that inner critic that says you're worthless, that inner critic that says you are never going to accomplish the things that you said you were going to do, or the inner critic that says, see, I told you so, you didn't do it. And you just sit in that thought or those feelings. But challenge that inner critic. Challenge where you are sitting in your mind. Challenge it. And then when you prove it wrong, close your eyes and smile and remember your greatness. But you are being asked to be brave in this moment. Brave. Your animal guides for today. Ooh, that one wanted to. Let's look at this one. Black Jaguar, old soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. And I love this image of this jaguar. And it's so dark. It's very dark in here. And it just knows things. It speaks to others. It speaks to the youth. It speaks to those who haven't experienced the world for themselves. And you are being very brave while doing this. And maybe you didn't think you had the power in order to do this. But this card here is saying you already have the information that is available to you. You've already did the work. You've already experienced what it is that you need to experience. And now you are able to create what it is that you are dreaming about, whatever that may be. What else, Spirit? I do love that jaguar. That jaguar is beautiful. And I love that it's got this like orb in the background. It's like this sphere that it goes to when it needs nourishment. Oh, okay. Already got the 2. Let me go ahead and I'll talk. Oh, we actually had 2 of these come out at the beginning of the week. So if you are coming in from a collective reading and you were testing things out for yourself, because Old Soul was talked about in that reading as well. So the heron talks about patience. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. And so I do like, so in this one, that is the only jaguar that is in this picture. And it's like this jaguar has obtained something by being still, by being brave with being alone and being okay with that. And in that collective reading that I had talked about, it was almost like there was this individual that was looking at all these relationships around them. And this person was constantly being gone to for advice. They were able to help people with their own relationship advice. And it was almost like, but what about me? When will I have that for myself? And this is just confirmation that yes, you are an old soul and you are actually taking the advice that is being given to you from the divine, from your guides, and you're finding that courage, the courage to maybe go after whatever it is that has your attention, whatever is being revealed in this orb. You are looking into it, and now that you have the information you need, you're looking, almost getting ready to turn and start out on your journey. But the heron is all about patience, and jaguars are very patient. They're subtle. They move with the shadows, and they wait for the right time. And this is just another confirmation. Keep being patient. Allow yourself to be patient. Allow yourself to find ways when you become so absorbed with everything that is going around you, the hustle, the act of having to prepare for something. Allow yourself to kind of step away. Once you've already done the preparation, now all you got to do is wait. Wait, because that's going to help you with the reward that you're about to be receiving. And it's going to help you step even more confidently into the purpose you have been working towards. And this squirrel, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. And it almost feels like that's what you're doing in this picture right now, is you were trying to plan your future. And what I love about this is this orb came out, and in this reading, I actually got my crystal globe pushed closer towards the center. And it's just those synchronicities. You're actually looking at divine's messages. You were looking for anything that your subconscious may be revealing to you in that moment and looking for the depth. You're being very brave with your shadow self, and you are challenging it, and you are allowing it to see how you are going to stand at the door and prevent it from taking you from your purpose. You are no longer going to let the shadow side of yourself hold you back any longer. And you're testing everything that was ever said out loud that you held on to. But you are the expert of hard work and hard play. And you're being asked to not let life's distractions take you off course. Don't let it beat you up. And it's almost like, I can see this also being a different interpretation where like you were so focused on this orb, you were so focused on your journey that For a split second, you closed your eyes and forgot how great you were. And then when you opened it, you were looking back again, looking back at your past, looking back at your actions. And they want you to close your eyes, remember how great you are. And then when you open them, you will be looking back at where it is that you are being pivoted towards. But life is going to give you all you need. You just have to make a plan. Make a plan. What do you want your future to look like currently? And I don't want you to say, well, my age prevents me from doing so. Don't say that. Don't put age as a limit. If you want to learn a new skill, ask, I want to learn a new skill. What new skill do you want to learn? Who can you reach out to? Just allow yourself to ask that out. Research it. The internet is such a good tool to use now, where if you wanted to, I'm hearing trade school. If you wanted to pick up a trade, you were able to do so. And because you're this old soul, because you're like this jack of all trades, you're able to pick up any skill. And you're able to really, you're someone who's very prepared. I can see you being someone that's like this doomsday preparer, where like you prepare for everything. Before the news even says something, you're already prepared. It's like you've got this bunker ready, because here's the squirrel, here's the birds. The birds are flying, but the squirrel's like, I didn't even have to go anywhere. I've got all my canned goods. I've got all my toilet paper essentials. Like, you were just someone that is prepared for the worst. And being prepared does not make you weak. Being prepared does not make you senile. Being prepared means that you are bunkering down and you are being very brave about the situation and allowing yourself to stay in this moment and not allow someone to take you away, to make you have to actually physically move from where you are to a different, more sunny disposition. You're not going to back down from a fight. That's what this brave card is talking about. You are not backing down from a fight. And that fight is yourself. It's this dark shadow self. All right, let's go ahead and look at Spirit. Let's look at a card from this tarot deck. Ooh. Okay. So that was really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of like try to get to the heart of the matter. I'm going to pull this one. And this was on the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and get this one right here. And I know it kind of peeked out. It's not that I'm ashamed to look at it already. I just like to look at one card at a time. All right. So let's look at kind of like what Spirit is really revealing for you. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, and I love that. Okay. You are planning something. You are planting something as we speak. You are trying to create something that is long-lasting, that will be fruitful for you. And it's almost like you are doing this planning. It's like, what do I want to create for myself, and how can I create it? And the Seven of Pentacles is like you're reflecting on all these past decisions, all these things that you have tried to plant that has not worked, and you're looking at what was successful. You made an assessment based off that, and now you have the knowledge in order to plant something and grow with it. And I love that you got the Seven of Pentacles, because this card has been showing up quite frequently. And it makes sense for January to see this. And because a lot of people are trying to plan their future, they're trying to plan their year ahead for themselves. They're trying to see the long-term goal. And that could be what it is. Maybe you were only focusing on the short-term goals, because that's all you could ever do in the past, was focus on the present here and now. And now you're being encouraged, go ahead and look at how you want the long term to look. What do you want to accomplish? And this person is contemplating. They're kind of looking for what their next move is. And And all of these are all the things that were very successful. So I would encourage you, remember 7 things that were really great in your life. And I mean, these could be people, situations, these could be goals that you've already accomplished. Think of 7 things that you have done that made you feel great. A memory of any kind. I don't care what it is. Anything that made you happy. Anything at all. It could be something you said to somebody that made a lasting impact, and you've seen how much of a difference you made in their life. Now, at first, you may have been comparing yourself to others and their journey, but these people were successful because you helped them, and that is something to feel great about, is when you are able to help others. But you are looking for something that you actually physically want to put in the ground right now. And it is something that you will have to wait and mature with. You can't just put it in the ground and walk away with it and then come back and hope that everything worked out for the best. That's not how this works. You have to think about the right environment to put it in. You have to think about the people that will be affecting this. So we had a science experiment when I was in the 5th grade where we took home a helicopter seed plant that we put in a cup, and we were told to talk to it. And then there was another part of the class where they didn't do that. And we discovered that talking to the plant created a better environment for it because it was getting carbon dioxide from us talking to it. And we were just really just saying, oh, I can't wait to see how you grow. I cannot wait to see how tall you bloom. I cannot wait. And we were saying these positive things to this plant. That's what you want. You want to see positivity. Maybe you've only seen the dark side of things, but look at this light that's coming out of it. Surround yourself in the right environment with the right people, with the right kind of energy and the right kind of effort that you actually want to spend in it. Look at your resources that you have. Another good example is hydrangeas. They are these beautiful flowers, and depending on the pH of the soil will determine what color they are. So think about what color you are creating. What soil will you need? Those are the kind of things that you're being asked to look at. So the heart of the matter, the things, the core that is going on, we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. So maybe you've been sabotaging yourself. You've been causing this deceit, and you have realized that you were the person that has been really causing all of these things that you have been trying to plant for yourself to not actually be fruitful. And you are seeing now that by you actually being the thing that deceives yourself, you are helping fix a wound that you did not realize you were doing to yourself. And here's a 7, here's another 7. You are really looking at these past choices, these things that have occurred, and you're also looking at the ways that people have taken advantage of you and how it has made you unable to move forward. And that could be why you're really dark right now, is like you were going about your journey and then you had that memory and you just like, oh, there it is again. There's that memory again. But this 7 of Swords, and I love talking about it because it's almost like there's 2 actions that you have done that you made a decision on that are sticking with you, that are in the ground. And then there's these 2 swords in this hand, and there's 3 swords in this hand. It's so 3 swords, the 3 of Swords talks about betrayal. So there's like this hint of I did something or I was a part of something and I had no idea. It just came out of nowhere and I ended up being the one that got hurt the most. And then the 2 of Swords talks about a decision that needs to be made that you've been thinking about. And there's these imbalances here where whatever affected you is making you unable to make a decision. So you see these vines that are growing around these swords, but it's in reverse. So it's almost like You're going to drop everything, all the deceit, all the lies, and you are challenging yourself to be more strategic in how you approach conflict and how you approach situations that you need to navigate through. And like I said, you were looking at things that did work, and you were looking at things that did not work, that sabotaged your progress, and you're throwing them away, and you were analyzing the people that are around you, the conflicts, the way people communicate with you, and you're not going to allow those with lesser types of energy fields to come in and sabotage your progress any longer. You're more brave in this situation, and you're going to stand up to these people that do try to lie, that do try to scheme and undermine your ability to succeed. Because you're remembering how great you are. You're remembering all the times that you were great, and it is helping you analyze the things that are around you, and it's making you more patient. It's almost like you're waiting for this person to reveal themselves. You knew they were going to do this. You already prepared for this situation to happen. And because you are an old soul, you already picked up on these things. You see these subtle things that are going on around you, and you already know, well, I already know just based off of their character alone that this person is trying to sabotage my growth. And that's at the core heart of the matter. And I also want you to kind of look at how you can be brave from being an anxious kind of person. Because if you're always thinking about how someone is out to get you, it will prevent you from moving forward, and it prevents you from having unconditional love for another person. But I do love that you are looking at yourself in a different way, and you were trying to find ways to strategize this. On the back of the deck, we have the lovers. We have these choices. We have these relationships, these things that are fulfilling, that are around us. And we're looking at the decisions that are being made, that we are affecting. And this could be the people that are around us as well. But the lovers is a really good card. It talks about seeing what is available to us and determining if we were to take this opportunity for ourselves, and just holding ownership over those choices we make. So Eve in this picture, because it does remind me of Adam and Eve. So, and I love the analogy, the allegory behind the Garden of Eden. And there's this rabbi that I really like that changed the way I thought about this image, or just this thing. So it's like we have these false ideas that were told to us, where we said, this is why we are the way we are, and this is why we have to suffer. But in reality, or just in this way it was explained, it opened up something for me, where we had Adam in this Garden of Eden, and he's named all the animals. He's just walking through the garden. And then we know that outside the walls of Garden of Eden, things are not good, but everything's perfect in the Garden of Eden. And this apple tree, or this fruit that Eve ingests, it is intentional that she did ingest it, because they weren't always meant to stay in the Garden of Eden forever. Otherwise, it wouldn't have even been in the timeline. And because there was suffering outside where there was peace and balance, she was able to take what was really being given in this moment, and that was a choice, to have freedom of choice, and which led her to share what she learned from this moment in time with him. And then they took it. And yes, I may not be explaining it the best way, and I encourage y'all to really look at how there are different ways this has been told. But what I love about it is allowing someone to be empowered with a choice, even though they know it may not be for their highest good. And maybe there's some information that you have been holding off from looking at deeply because you were so worried that it would be the worst thing if you did actually hear that someone did betray you, that someone secretly was not your friend, secretly has been using you. But it's almost like you already know that this is going on. And by allowing yourself to see the truth, to be given that knowledge, you are allowing for more healing to come in now, because now you know what your next step is, and that is to not allow this person to come within your garden again, because everyone has their own gardens that they are tending to, my friends, everyone. And you are doing your best to make sure your garden is thriving, that it is healthy, that it is in harmony, and that it is balanced. And so far in this life, we are so focused on everyone else's garden that we find ourselves comparing each other to how other people are successful. And we need to look at who is in our garden right now that is trying to steal our joy. And we need to be brave and confront these people. And I love that this image, it's like you're balancing these divine feminine, these divine masculine counterparts, and you are seeing how they make you strong when you don't divide yourself between a wall. When you don't, it's like when you put blinders on, if you're ever driving past someone that is homeless and you're putting blinders on because there is that 50-50 chance that they are taking advantage of somebody. So you put these blinders on. But because there is that other side of the coin where they just experienced something very devastating that put them in that position to be homeless. And it's very unfair that we do have these people who do take advantage of the situation. But we understand our garden. We understand that there is suffering. We understand that there are these things that are out of our control, that are out of these other people's control. And you are trying to find the right choice in how to deal with this situation at the heart. And you don't want to make the wrong choice, is what I'm hearing, but you're looking at all the times where you did the right thing and how it made you feel, and you were brave about it. So just be prepared. Allow yourself to be prepared to have to create a different garden, especially if the garden that you were in is no longer suitable and you have to leave. You have to leave this garden. And at first you may feel like you are betraying yourself. But that's just something that, no, when you're doing something for your highest good, for the highest good of others, you're not betraying yourself. You're actually helping plant something that will be more fruitful, where other people can actually come in and not take advantage of you, but see how to build this garden for themselves and be successful. But that is my reading for y'all. I really do enjoy doing these really quick readings. They sometimes go anywhere between 27 minutes to about 35 minutes. But this was such a very powerful collective reading. And honestly, it empowers me to remember why, like, I even started tarot. And the biggest reason why I wanted to is I wanted to show people that they have the ability to create a life for themselves, as long as they are willing to face their shadow sides and rise above and actually allow themselves to take a choice, a decision, and figure out if it's best for them or if it's something that they shouldn't be ingesting. But thank you guys. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Share, especially if you know someone that could benefit from this information. And if you feel like this resonated with you, please comment. Let me know. I enjoy hearing people's adventures, where they are going. And I just really hope that you find yourself in a place where you're able to find patience, because you are prepared for what it is that is coming your way. But bye, guys.